Paul George and Klay Thompson are on the move. Hey everyone, this is Spectator Sports. I'm your host Sebastian Fonseca. Remember to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's break down the biggest dominoes to fall in NBA free agency. Paul George has left the LA Clippers to join the Philadelphia 76ers on a 4-year, $212 million deal. After being with the Clippers for 5 years, extension talks broke down throughout the NBA season, and finally he's decided to leave LA, his hometown, for greener pastures out east to join with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. At first sight, this is a really nice match. You get to have the perennial MVP candidate in Joel Embiid, the rising star in Tyrese Maxey, and the fairly established two-way player in Paul George. Now Paul really doesn't have to worry about being the go-to guy, because often in LA when Kawhi was out, he was tasked to do so. And now he can really slide into the number 2 position, or probably even the 3rd position in the Sixers rankings. Joel Embiid is going to get a bevy or the majority of the touches, and then probably going to go with Tyrese Maxey given the burst that he has being a young gun in this NBA. And then you have Paul George, who's pretty much going to be tasked with guarding the best wing, but also doing his timely scoring, 23 to 24 points a game, knocking down maybe about 3 to 4, even 5 3-pointers a night. And that's pretty much all you need from Paul George. The Sixers also were able to re-sign Kelly Oubre, a really big fan favorite for the Sixers. He's been great on the defensive end. And last year, after a couple down years, he has been able to regain the stroke from outside. They also brought back Andre Drummond, a key piece in their rotation. A couple years ago, he spent a few seasons in Chicago with the Bulls, but now it takes some pressure off of Joel Embiid, because remember, when he is off the court, the Sixers have a huge weakness and they get destroyed on the glass. So that's a big deal. Just to take some pressure off, he's gonna probably play about 5 to 6 minutes, maybe even 10 tops in a postseason run, but that's just some big time center depth in the front court. They're also able to bring on Eric Gordon. He hasn't been that great over in Phoenix recently, but still can give you some ample minutes coming off your bench. So now it's really tasked with a couple questions. Will the Sixers be able to stay healthy? Because that's been the biggest what if with Joel Embiid's career. He's been missing games throughout his entire career. And Paul George remarkably hasn't been the healthiest in the last 5 seasons either. Actually, he's missed more games than Joel Embiid. So that's gonna fall a lot on the hands of Tyrese Maxey. He's the younger of the 3, and he's going to be tasked with probably being there on a consistent basis, playing about 70 to 75 games a given season. And it's going to come also down to Nick Nurse, how he's going to tweak the lineups and kind of load manage this roster, because it's definitely on the older side. There's some older players on this team and players that have been beat up. They've been through long postseason runs, so it's going to be tweaking the lineups as well, just trying to make sure that they're not being overloaded. Probably stake out some players on back-to-backs without the load management that the LA Clippers used to run. But it's going to be really nice. I mean, on paper, this team has what it takes to beat the Boston Celtics just based on superstar power. They have 3 stars that can get their own shot. They have 2 guys that can play really good defense, and it's just going to come down to depth, how they round out the roster, because they still need to find some shooters, and they're still not done in free agency or trades even. So the Sixers still have some work to do, but at this point, I think they're probably the biggest contender to the Boston Celtics out east, and they're probably going to leapfrog the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference standings.